Welcome to We Used to Live Together. I'm Hannah.
I'm Kris.
And we
used to live together. Episode 5.
Episode 5.
Here we are.
We've launched.
We have launched. And today is actually a very special episode because we have our very first guest.
Yes. Please welcome a math maestro and beer connoisseur from the Central Valley. By day, he's molding the minds of America's youth, and by night, you can find him driving in a Stinger, looking for the best tacos in town, with a love for data analysis in every aspect of life, and an ass that don't quit. He's the MVP of numbers, sports, beer, and snuggles. Please give a warm, roomy welcome to my hunk of a husband, Lorenzo!
Wow, what an introduction. Do we need to take turns and do this for everyone?
Nope, just you.
I feel unprepared, but thank you. That's such a warm welcome.
Thank you for being here, our very first guest.
Yes.
Is it weird that you guys are on a podcast together or no?
I feel like it's always been in the cards for us.
I feel like, this has been manifesting for a long time.
Yeah.
It's wild to actually be here in front of friends,
thank God,
family, and doing this together.
Yeah, we're happy to have you because today we're tackling kind of a big thing.
A big thing.
A big
topic.
But before we get into our main event, what's good, my dude? You guys just came back from Kansas City.
Yeah, we did.
We just got back.
we wanna hear all about it because from what I saw on Instagram, you may have seen someone, a couple of people that...
Nobody really.
Yeah, nothing really happened.
It's the Midwest. What could you expect,
No, it was great. We've always wanted to go see a Chiefs game. And so we were like, what better time to do it than now? So we flew out.
Okay.
We went to the Broncos game, which was a Thursday.
Okay, so this is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. And how long? It was in Kansas City.
Yes.
In Kansas City.
At Arrowhead Stadium.
Correct.
And how long were you there?
5 days.
Mm-hmm.
We flew out Wednesday morning, and then we flew back the next Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so we had kind of like a loose structure of what we wanted to do, but the main event was the game, obviously.
Of course, yes.
So since we're new in town and don't have any friends or family, we were like, how do we become a part of this community?
Okay.
So
and how did you?
Well, so we found the nearest CVS. We found poster board. We, obtained
you
some
made
markers.
it there? Oh, I don't want to spoil anything. Please, go on. Go.
We sat down. This is the day of the game, by the way. We're already decked out. It's like, 10 in the morning,
Yeah.
11 in the morning. We're decked out. We have our jerseys on. She has her KC stickers on her face. And we traveled to CVS and pick up a poster board and whatever, like, the cheapest markers we could find. And then we go back to our hotel and just, on one side I wrote, we'll trade warm beer for warm friends. Because we don't have a fridge in our hotel room, and I thought, well, maybe we could get adopted at the tailgate if we bring some beer along, right? Like,
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Did anyone?
Yeah.
But you can't,
we'll get there.
Okay, please.
You can't bring cold beer because it's gonna get. Either way, you were gonna end up with warm beer. So
Right.
I was
And
like,
nobody
likes
likes warm beer.
likes warm
nobody likes
beer.
warm beer. But somebody will cool a beer.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe give us some barbecue, maybe give us some cold beers.
Okay.
And that was our plan. Mm-hmm. And then on the backside.
And then on my side,
Uh-huh.
I wrote a special message to Travis Kelce.
Oh, who's that?
I don't know if you've heard of him. He's kind of like a new rookie on the team. He hasn't been in the game long.
Whoa,
He's
whoa.
a tight end. I mean, you could say Taylor kind of put him on the map.
I forgot. I have somewhere else to be. Decided I don't want to do this anymore.
No, I did a little shout out.
Uh-huh.
I did a call out to his podcast because I thought that might catch his attention.
Okay.
And we'll get into it later. But it said, new news, flew from California to see the Big Yeti play. And Big Yeti is his nickname.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
That's what,
Yeah, that's, they're special.
Wow.
yeah. But yeah, so then we Ubered to the stadium.
Because y'all trying to drink.
Yeah, we're trying to drink.
Right.
And we got there super early, which was fun.
We were probably the first fans there.
Yeah.
So the one of the things that's Kansas City is most famous for is obviously their barbecue, and the tailgates are legendary. So all the forums we were reading, I was on all these Reddit threads trying to figure out the best way to experience this game, and everyone was like, you have to go to the tailgate, you have to go to the tailgate. So almost everybody drives in, but the gates didn't open till 2:30, and our Uber pulled up at 2. So we climbed down this hill, we hiked down there, and it was really cool to see, because Arrowhead Stadium is right next door to Kauffman Stadium, which is where the Royals play. They share the same parking lot, and it was just like a gorgeous day.
The Kansas City Royals.
The Kansas City Royals,
which are a
baseball team,
which I obviously knew.
Yeah, I knew you knew. And so we got some gorgeous photos. We got a line up for the team store. We were the first in line, so it was pretty nice. But it was strange just seeing the workers barely showing up.
Wait, so there were no fans?
No, not yet. I mean, maybe a handful. But everyone was waiting to get into the parking lot to start their tailgate. We had got there before anyone was allowed in.
Yeah, that line to let cars in starts at 6 in the morning.
No.
People take the day off and they pull up and they tailgate in line to get into the tailgate.
Oh, it's an event.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's
well,
crazy.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only one lane to go in and out, right?
That's what it looked like from where we were walking down. I could, I'm sure there might be another. I think there's one highway exit, and then you can circle around the stadium and then choose the lane that you're entering in. But yeah, it was. You could smell the barbecue from
Wait, where were they cooking the barbecue?
In line to get in.
No,
Yeah.
wait. In line? What do you mean?
To get in their car in line to get into the parking lot.
How
they
are
already
you
started
cooking in?
that you can bring your grill and stuff.
So people have been parked there.
Since 6 a.m.
Oh, wait. What happens when you have to move your car?
Then you just pick it up and you
go. Yeah, man.
I am shocked
Open
and
up the
impressed.
trunk.
Wow,
Please.
I didn't. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm imagining just a row of
literally.
barbecue.
Yeah.
That's
It smells so
basically
good.
what it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Kansas Cityans, is that the correct term? Please, I hope. They
Email us.
They have it down. They have it down to a science. They really. They had everything set up as if they've been doing this for 100 years. I don't know.
Wow.
It was. You could tell that. The people there do this often.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here you guys are, a
Yeah.
couple of Californians. You're
Yes.
strolling up.
So
what's the vibe? What's
we
happening?
have to hike down this hill. We get
Okay.
there, we have our sign, and we already are getting stopped by workers that are
Are people looking at you?
yeah, they're like, oh, you're from California. Where are you from? Chatting with us. And we line up to go into the official pro shop because Lorenzo heard on the street that's where you get the best merch.
Pro shop.
Merch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you've been to Angel Stadium,
Yes.
which is also a
baseball team.
There you go.
I know things.
And, just making sure. And they have just special items that you probably couldn't find online.
Okay.
Or use,
Okay. So these are exclusive to that
that's-
stadium
Yeah.
or
That's
that
what-
store.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were told that that's where you would find that kind of thing. The coolest thing that we found in there was probably the game pin. So for every game they have a specialized pin, has the date
For
on
every
there.
single game.
Yeah.
The one
Wow.
we had a cartoon of Casey Wolf, which is the Chiefs mascot,
Uh-huh.
and then Barry the Bronco. I don't know his name.
Oh, they sold the
but
other teams?
No, it was on one pin.
Oh, on
one
so
pin.
it was
Oh,
like
I
see,
Bronco,
I get it.
It was the
okay.
mascots facing
Right.
off.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Does
every
every team
game.
do that?
I don't know.
Does that?
I'm
Does
not
every
sure.
team?
I'm not sure.
But
But
they
the-
sold out fast.
Well, the Chiefs do.
They
Chiefs
do.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
But yeah, so we got our pin, and then we just we got a bunch of merch too, a lot of merch.
On top of what you already own.
Yes.
Well, this was from Kansas.
Right.
Yes.
Right. This is different.
It's
Yeah.
exclusive. Yeah.
Okay. So.
And so then we're just walking around. We start going through kind of the cars where the tailgate is starting,
Uh-huh.
and immediately we get stopped by a lovely couple that are like, "We'll give you a cold
they were in
beer."
line?
Yeah, they had already set up their car. They were
Uh-huh.
already had their trunk open. They were already
Okay.
starting to party.
And they read your sign.
They read our sign.
and they adopted you.
And they
And they
adopted
adopted
us.
We
Shout
did.
out to
We
Adam.
passed, 4
and
cars? Adam and Laney.
Laney.
Adam and Lane. Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a wholesome couple.
Yeah, they were very sweet. They gave me a Bud Light, and I had to drink it. So
Oh,
I couldn't be rude.
Right.
And so like by the time Lorenzo was on his second, I was like not even halfway through.
Oh, no.
Hey,
Well,
no,
that's fine.
you did work, and I was so proud. I glanced over, I was like, it's probably still full. No, you were down
I
past,
was.
like, you couldn't see it because she had a koozie
Uh-huh.
on it.
Yeah.
Because Adam
Oh.
and Lainey take care of us.
They
They
know.
took-
Yeah,
yeah.
they know what they're doing. Wait, I thought you brought your own beer, though.
We did, but they were warm.
Oh, that's right. You were waiting for them to cool down.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
We ended up just giving them all of the beers, and then we kind of went
As
off.
tribute.
Yeah, we went off and did our own thing and got some barbecue. They have a really cool section at the stadium called like the Ford tailgate, and it's like they have a bunch of food and drinks, and people that aren't tailgating can go to that like big tailgate party.
Oh, so you could have been adopted by those people.
Right, we were. Well,
But-
I mean,
well,
that's like an event.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like almost like a cocktail hour. I don't know
Yeah.
how else
Oh,
to
I
describe
see.
it, but
Okay.
people are there enjoying their food. It's almost like when you go to the outdoors section of like a brewery or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
we had good conversations with people there too. We ran into a few couples
Wait,
from
you talked to
California.
people?
Yeah, our sign literally like
Attracted people to
so much attention.
Wow.
Well, there were quite a few, how should I say, fans from California who flew in, a few that drove.
Mm-hmm. There was a
like, it
couple from
was-
Orange.
Well, you live in Orange.
Yeah. It was so weird. And then when we would have the poster the other way, people were like staring and laughing because of like the nod to the
Yeah.
podcast, Travis Kelsey's podcast.
Oh, okay.
So like people,
Not our podcast.
no, not our.
We're working on it.
We're
We'll get
working
there.
on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were just getting a lot of attention all day.
Wow.
Which
So
was
the sign
fun.
was actually a good idea. for you
Yeah,
guys.
I think we'll do it any other time we go because
Yeah.
it was a good conversation starter.
Should we make
Yeah,
signs
for sure.
here when we go to Angels games?
No.
No,
What?
not the same vibe. No.
Drove out from Orange, walked from under the
Wa-
57.
Made a 20-minute walk.
Not the same.
But yeah, so then we were just kind of hanging out outside, walking
Mm-hmm.
around. They have like a drum line,
We love a drum line.
which was wonderful.
Yeah.
And then we entered into the stadium
Okay.
right when the gates open.
Did you get full body chills?
Yeah.
Wow. It just, the seats already, if you've ever seen pictures of Arrowhead Stadium, are bright red.
I have.
And it was
seen
one of
them.
those beautiful days where like it was very cloudy earlier, very overcast, and the sun had like poked out a couple of hours earlier. So the sun reflecting off the seats and just hitting your
Glorious.
eyeballs is just the most
Wow.
beautiful thing. And it's like, I don't know, the red is just bouncing off everywhere. So it was a sight to behold.
So
for
all
sure.
you guys walked in with all the fans.
Yeah. We wanted to get in right when the gates opened because
Okay.
we wanted to go see everybody warm up. And
Oh,
so
yes, okay.
we splurged on our tickets. So we were like in the first section on the 50-yard line.
I
Like-
saw the video and I was like, whoa, these
Yeah.
are good seats.
Yeah, so we immediately went to our section, went right up to the front, and got to watch everybody like warm up. Like,
Wait, so the team literally warms up right there on the
Yeah.
field?
Yeah, both teams.
Yeah, both
Wow.
teams. So we saw like Mahomes, and unfortunately, Travis Kelsey did not warm up with the team because he had an ankle injury.
He was nervous. He knew you were there.
He knew I was there.
Wait, did he play?
He did play.
Oh, okay.
But I guess he was getting treatment or something.
Oh.
Well,
okay.
part of it too is his injury. We don't have to talk about this, but
No, I think we do.
once he gets warmed up, he has to stay warmed up. Otherwise, it gets like stiff, and then he
Oh.
can't play on it. So
Got it.
it wasn't like
Ayo.
he could go out there and then, because they're all in like their trainers, and it's not like he could go out there and then go change uniform and then come back. He had to like literally warm up right before the game so he could play.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was still really cool. And then
And then?
we were like, okay, it's starting to get time close to the game. Like, let's go get drinks and
Yeah.
snacks and
Uh-huh.
stuff. So we like turned around to go back to our seats because we
Yes.
had walked down closer to the field.
Okay.
And we were a couple of rows back. So we
Uh-huh.
went back to our seats, and I look up and I see Mama Kelsey, Travis
Wait,
Kelsey's
okay,
mom.
so this was my question. When I saw your video, did you specifically choose those seats because
No.
you knew that was Kelsey's suite?
I had no idea. We bought these back in May.
You had no idea that was Kelsey's suite.
No.
Like-
And to me, I thought like if I even thought it was a suite, I thought it was going to be up on the other level because it was just so close to all the fans. I didn't
Yeah.
think that would be where everybody was. So I didn't think anything of it.
So you bought these tickets not knowing
No.
that
Not knowing.
mere rows
No.
behind you
no.
would be Kelsey's mom in his suite.
Yeah.
And did you see anyone else?
I mean, there was like just some random girl people were freaking out about. I think Taylor Swift or Taylor
Swift.
Swift. Yeah. No, okay. So we'll get there.
Okay.
Because I'm going to lose my shit.
Yes,
okay.
please.
So yeah, we turn around. I see Mama Kelsey. And I am like, oh my gosh. So I start like holding up my sign.
Okay.
And I don't know who this guy was next to Mama Kelsey. We were calling him like Travis's uncle.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Uncle Larry, Uncle
Yeah.
Bob, Uncle.
But he took a picture of me holding the sign.
Wow.
And then like Mama Kelsey waved. And
To you?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I was like, oh my God.
I want to marry your son.
I know. So then, then after that, we went up and we got drinks. And on our way back, I was asking the usher, like, so where's Taylor Swift sitting? And he's like, he gave me like a smile, like, and I was like, come on. And he's like, I can't tell you that. And then we walk down, and there she is.
In the suite. So I'm trying to get in your body and what you were feeling in that moment.
Yeah. So I was immediately overwhelmed. One, there's Taylor Swift. Two, we're wearing the same jacket.
The same jacket.
The exact same jacket.
For the listeners at home who are watching on the video, this is the jacket.
This is the jacket,
The.
and you can't get it. You have to pre-order it now.
Because everyone saw that she was wearing it, so they got.
You have to pre-order.
Oh my gosh, dude! Everything she touches turns to gold. That's wild. Oh my
So
gosh.
I see her. I kind of freeze, and Lorenzo like starts walking back to the seat, and I'm like, sorry, I need to just stand here.
I literally said, "Do your thing."
Yeah.
Just do your thing. I had a fresh cocktail in my hand. I was like, I'll be. You know where to find me.
Also, shout out to Arrowhead for keeping their cocktails cheap.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, and
the whole
good.
experience-
What did you get?
I got a vodka cran.
Your usual.
My usual.
Her huge. And I got. I think I just got Jack and Coke.
yeah.
I think is what I got.
$12.
For both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for
Oh,
one.
wow.
Oh, for one.
But I'm like
Okay.
at SoFi, it's like
Oh, like $30
Yeah.
for one.
Realistically, like we didn't even talk about our decision. Like we knew we wanted to visit Arrowhead, but it started because we were looking at tickets in a similar section at SoFi, and then I looked up tickets in the section we were in at Arrowhead, and I was like,
Way cheaper?
we could fly there and sit there and visit Arrowhead for about the same.
Wow.
And so, SoFi is
So just cost of living or what? Whatever
it's
it
probably
is.
a mix of XYZ things. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Well, you guys,
definitely
good for
cheaper
you
all
guys.
around.
I know.
Yeah. Okay,
So
so
yeah.
you see.
So he leaves me alone to just collect myself. And so I'm just standing there, and she's just sitting there talking to Mama Kelsey. And I'm sure you've seen
Like you knew it was her, like a mile off. You
Taylor.
knew.
I mean, oh my God, Kris.
I'm not Taylor.
Wow. She's only seen Taylor
Like you
now.
knew, like the second you laid eyes on her, you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is it. This
Yeah.
is, it's
Like I'm
happening.
like not even kidding. She was probably like pretty close. Like I mean, a little
She
bit
was not
farther.
this
A
close.
little bit
Not this-
farther,
not
but
this close, but,
yeah.
maybe on the other side of this room.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe a visual.
But yeah, so I see her, I'm like collecting myself, and I'm sure you've seen the video of her like taking a picture with the
Yes,
little fan.
yes.
So I have a video of that from my perspective.
So you saw that happen.
yeah, so I
live.
filmed that.
Wow.
Yeah. But so she sat back down, and I felt weird taking a picture of her because I knew she could see me.
Everyone else was doing
I
it.
know. So I put my phone down,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I'm just gonna wave.
You waved at Taylor Swift?
So I'm just sitting there like this, and then she waves back at me.
you directly?
And I know it sounds fake. I know the haters are gonna say I'm making this up, but
I
he
don't-
watched the whole thing.
From my seat with my rum and, Jack and Coke, whatever I had in my hand, I was like, turned it around. She did work and she got her reward.
Wow.
She waved
Got
at
her
me.
wave.
And so after that, I was like, okay, like I'm good.
You're like, we can go home
Yeah.
right now.
Like I'm so good. And so then I just like go back to my seat, and I'm just elated, and I can't calm down.
You need to calm down.
Yeah, literally.
Wait, so this is the first time you've interacted directly with Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, I've caught.
Because I know you've gone to many shows.
I've gone to many shows. I caught her guitar pick.
Okay,
But
yes.
that she didn't know where that went.
Right.
I have a
Right.
picture of me and her mom,
Uh-huh.
but this was like
Ages
one-on-one interaction with, like our eyes locked. Mind you, I'm wearing a shirt that has a collage of Travis Kelce's face on it.
This is.
Oh my.
And the same jacket she's wearing.
That's
so
so
I don't know.
funny, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And like a sign that's calling her boyfriend the Big Yeti. So I don't know.
Are they? Well, let's
Yeah.
not speculate, but wow.
Anyway, so I go back to our seats and because the game started.
Yeah.
And well, not started, but all the players were coming out.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, Hannah, get your shit together. Go back to your seats. And then it was the game. And it was so crazy. Like everybody, the whole game
Was
is
it
just.
was it packed? Was it sold out?
Yeah, it was packed.
Okay.
But like the whole game, people are just turning around, taking pictures of her.
Oh,
like,
we're still
I
on
was gonna
Taylor.
say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was weird. Anytime Kelsey like caught something or
Uh-huh.
even
They would
moved
cheer.
fast, everyone
Or
would look back
at you. Or
look back at
yeah,
Taylor, and we'd be like, "Do we have to dodge? Like, what's going on?"
That's
It was
wild.
very strange, very distracting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're trying to see if the field goal is gonna make it, and everyone's just like turned around looking at the other thing. Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy, but I mean, it was really cool, and like the people we were around were pretty nice. The guy next to me on the other side of me was like trying to mansplain football to me the whole time.
Why do you?
I'm like, 'cause I'm a woman.
Right.
She was the only one around.
Oh.
She was in the area of effect, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah. Like there was one time where one of the Chiefs players caught an interception
Uh-huh.
and I was cheering
Yeah.
because that's exciting.
Right.
And he looks at me and he's like, "Do you know what happened?" I'm like,
Oh my.
yeah,
That
I do.
infuriates me. Did you say
it
anything?
was-
No.
I didn't hear. I
Oh.
didn't hear. And then she started telling me, and but he was pretty drunk, and I was,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did you respond at all, or
I just smiled. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I could have leaned over. I was like, she knows ball. Excuse
No.
me, sir. She knows.
No, it's
yeah?
Do you see the Travis Kelce shirt she's wearing? She knows her players.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, the rest of the game was really great.
Well, and I was kind of keeping tabs on that game. They destroyed the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Right? Tell me I'm right.
Yes.
Okay.
And no. Yes and no. I mean, and again, you can stop me whenever, but the issue that the Chiefs are having this year is that their receiving core, so the players that are out on the field
Right.
catching the ball for Patrick Mahomes, they're not to the caliber that you would want. So our offense is actually struggling more than it has in years past.
Mm-hmm.
So the Broncos actually made it a close game. There was a late.
Wait, it was a close game?
Yeah.
Yes,
was
it
19
was.
to
It
8.
was 19.
That's not a close
It was
game.
16-8 for a good chunk of the fourth quarter.
Maybe I don't know what a close game is.
So I guess for me, I'm used to watching the Chiefs just annihilate and score like 4 or 5 touchdowns in a game.
Mm-hmm.
This game they scored 1 touchdown, and the rest of the points came from field goals.
Field goals.
It's your
So
do you know?
boy.
Do you know what a field goal is, Hannah?
I don't. Can you explain
Oh, my
it?
guy, Butker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Butker.
Wait, did you send him that video?
I think I sent it to Danny. 'Cause
Oh,
he
we
has
have
him
a
on the
video for
fantasy
you
Okay, yeah.
of him warming up.
Send it to me. Yes.
I will. Yeah, we will, for sure.
But yeah, the game was fun. Like, it's so loud there.
I have heard the decibel levels are.
My ears were ringing.
Yeah.
And part of the silly thing is that you're supposed to be loud when your team is on defense so that your opponent can't call plays.
To disorient them?
Yeah, to disorient them.
Uh-huh.
But people didn't start yelling until they lined up under center after the play's been called. And that was the one thing that was odd to me. Like you'd want to be yelling when they're in the huddle, talking about the play,
Right.
when the quarterback is listening to the offensive coordinator. But they started we all started screaming right when they lined up, and that kind of helps because sometimes a quarterback will change the play in the moment. But it was the one thing that was a little weird to me. Is this effective? Are we doing this?
Well,
right?
they won.
Yeah.
But it was fun because since we were so close, we got to see them all interacting with each other on
Yeah.
the sideline.
Uh-huh.
They were dancing.
I saw that video you posted with the High School Musical remake.
Yes!
You were that close that you were.
that
I mean, you
close.
recorded that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah.
Your phone,
That was my phone. Yeah.
and it looked so close.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was thinking, Hannah must be losing her shiz.
I was.
Because not only Taylor but Travis was right there.
Yeah.
Did
And we
you-
had just
Did you
talked.
make eye contact with Travis?
I have a picture that looks promising.
I don't know.
I'll post it and the listeners can let me know what they think.
Yeah. Okay.
Eye contact or no. I think it was eye contact.
You think he was looking at you, but maybe he was looking at Taylor.
But
He was
don't say
looking
that.
past you. Taylor was literally.
Taylor was literally right behind me, but he
and
was
his
looking at
mom
me.
You, right.
And his Uncle Larry were all sitting
We
in that
love
booth.
Uncle Larry.
He was looking up there.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
so-
But yeah, game was fun.
Yeah.
And then
The rest of the trip, I saw you guys kind of explore the city.
Exploring the city.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaway from Kansas City is how kind everybody was.
It
Like
just-
every Uber driver, every person we encountered.
Wait,
they were-
truly?
Yeah, truly. So nice.
Wow.
And like loved talking and making conversation.
okay.
Which I wasn't really expecting.
Yeah.
We did have a sketchy Uber ride. Should we?
Yes. Can I paint the scene?
Yeah.
It's like 9:30 at night for
Your
me.
time,
For
yeah.
me, Pacific Standard Time. I get a text from Hannah. Hey, I'm turning on my locations, and I'm like, what's happening? She's never done this before.
Yeah.
With they're in the same country as me. What's happening? So, what was happening on your end of the phone?
So the game had just finished. There are lots of drunk people trying to pile out of that parking lot, and it's like a mess. It's chaos. Our Uber driver told us that if we traveled just over the hill and hung out at a, it was like
Best
a
Western.
Best Western or something,
Uh-huh.
we would have a higher chance of getting an Uber ride. So we did that. And
This is the Uber that dropped you off
Yeah,
at the game.
at the
It
start
told
of the
you.
game.
Okay.
Right. And so we did that, hoping to get an Uber pretty quickly. And we waited.
Yeah,
And
but you're
waited.
leaving out a detail.
What?
Both of you had 7% left on your phone. I had like
yeah.
17%.
Yeah,
like we were
Uh-huh.
we were on our last leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's freezing. Like it's so windy.
Oh yeah. What was the weather?
It was really cold that night, probably like 50 something.
Okay.
Windy.
People are like 50.
I know.
Yeah,
You
well,
Californians.
the real feel was like 30.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So we decided to like wait in the Best Western lobby.
Okay.
And so we're just sitting in there like, I don't know what we're going to do. We can't get any Uber. There's no taxi service.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
then,
no Uber's available?
No, because our Uber in the beginning of the day
Yeah.
said a lot of people don't like to do it because there's so much traffic.
Oh, it's just a pain.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like not worth the
Right.
money.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're sitting in the lobby, and then the concierge walks over to us,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Are you guys waiting for an Uber?" We're like, "Yeah," and she's like, "If you want, my husband can take you guys to your hotel."
Wait, this is an employee of the Best
Best
Western?
Western.
She's like, he works
no.
security here. He's actually parked right outside. If you go talk to Lenny.
Oh,
he'll
no,
set you
please.
up."
So I'm freaking
This is the
out
beginning
of
a horror movie.
I know. I'm freaking out. Like, we can't do this. And Lorenzo's so like, let's just go talk to him. I'm like, no.
Let's go see Lenny.
Let's go. I was like, we can't. So we go out there.
He's in like a little Nissan Altima. It's a Nissan Sentra. He rolls down his window, and I look in. It's just a nice, small, quiet Midwestern man named Lenny. And
They
he was
all
like,
start that way.
he's like,
Oh,
well,
no.
I can take you. And I asked him, well, how much? And he's like, what's Uber, charging you? And I said, I wish I said less, but I said,
You were truthful.
I told
Yeah.
him, the honest truth. We're in the Midwest. We
Yeah.
got to be honest.
Right.
So I told him 70, and he said, okay, I'll take you back for 70.
Wait, so how far are you from your hotel at this point?
Probably like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Honestly, it's not far at all.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just getting out of that.
Yeah.
And that mess, yeah.
location.
Okay.
And so we have to go back in the hotel, get cash out because Lenny doesn't have Venmo.
Of course.
And so we get into, and that's when I'm like, okay, I need to share my location with somebody because if we're dying,
Yeah.
Chris
I'm
needs
gonna
to know
help
when.
you.
And
From California.
I don't know. I was like, he just needs to know. So I sent it, and we get in the car, and immediately he's like the sweetest person.
Oh, okay.
Also the biggest Swiftie in the world.
No.
Like knew more about Taylor than almost I did.
How
about
did this come up?
he was chatty and like telling us everything. He also works he's like an usher at Arrowhead too, so he worked all of the Eras tour nights.
Yeah.
But he had so much to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he turned out to be a
Yes, I
good
misjudged
guy.
him.
Okay.
And that's on me.
Yes.
And it's on God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we
So
survived.
so you made it back safely.
Made it back safely.
Okay.
Lenny was fabulous,
Perfect.
and we ended up paying him 80.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, wow.
We would have been there. We would have been sitting there till like 1 a.m. our
With
time,
no cell
like
service.
trying
Yeah.
to, with
Yeah.
no
Or no
with dead phones.
dead
so
phones,
yeah.
trying to get out of there. So he really
Wow.
did us a
Well, it
solid.
sounds like Lenny saved the day for you guys.
He did. Shout out.
Shout out to Lenny if you're listening. Wait, okay, so and then you made it back and then you explored the city the next few days.
Yeah, ate a lot of barbecue.
Yeah.
Speaking of barbecue,
What?
We brought you a gift back.
No.
It
Jack
is
Stack Barbecue.
Yes.
Is it from a specific
restaurant called Jack Stack. Yes.
Wow. You ate there?
We ate
and
there.
it was
really good.
wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Kansas City
Incredible, yeah.
original.
Yeah.
Is this like a Whole30?
Yeah, no sugar
No
added,
sugar.
grain-free, dairy-free.
Can't wait to use
All the
that.
good
Thank you
stuff
so
is in
much.
there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out Jack Stack.
Okay,
Jack
well,
Stack.
it sounds
Anyway.
like you guys had a... Okay, like on a scale of 1 to 10 overall, what are you rating this trip?
Man, that's hard. I think for me, the Chiefs game was obviously the highlight, and that was like the most exciting, incredible thing that it could have been. But Kansas City itself just doesn't have great transportation. So there was a lot that we...
Like public transportation.
Public transportation. You rely on Uber, and Uber is really sketchy there. Like it's really hard to get a ride at odd hours of the day. So
Like
it
in the
was
middle of
just-
the day?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because people are working, and I'm
Oh,
assuming
okay.
those are the people
Right.
also trying to earn an extra buck.
Right.
So it was just hard to get around, and I think that there was so much that was left unseen, just because we didn't have like a tram we could ride necessarily, or
We could only walk so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. What
no,
would you give it?
I was just gonna say probably a 7 or an 8. I think we could do that trip again better.
Yeah.
a little
Like we
wiser.
rent a car.
Yeah, I was going to say rent a car.
Yeah. Oh, we also had like really good burgers.
Uh-huh.
We went to Andy Reid's favorite burger spot, Town Topic.
Andy Reid, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
You see how I knew that?
You knew
see
that,
how
bro.
I knew-
You
Come
were
on.
ready. You were ready.
It was so good. It's like a little shack, open 24 hours, and you just walk up to the window, you order your burger, just like a basic burger.
Uh-huh.
But it was so... I don't know if we were so hungry and just
juicy.
almost died from a fake Uber, but it was so good.
Wait, you got this after Lenny's
Yeah.
ride? No!
Just the thrill of life, our our sensory.
Yeah, you needed that.
We needed it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so good. So good.
Okay, so Hannah, your rating?
I would give it like a 9.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
you saw Taylor Swift.
I saw Taylor Swift. Really, the only hang up I had was the transportation. I had one mentee B during the whole trip, and it was because we couldn't get to one location I wanted to go to.
Okay.
So I think,
So
next
in the future,
time,
if you were
we
to
rent
go
a car.
back, you
yeah.
rent a car.
Yeah.
That way you could do it your way.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
Yeah. That was our whole episode. I'm kidding.
thanks for listening. No, thank you for sharing that. I think
Sorry we took so
no,
long.
people are interested in that.
People want to know.
People want to know.
Let me tell you something, and this isn't like a brag, but
Just a
after
humble brag.
this is just a humble brag. After I posted the photos of Taylor Swift and me in the jacket, I had 56 DMs.
From randos or
Yes,
from
from people on my Instagram that were like excited for me.
Yeah, well they know because
They know that this is just a huge crossover event in my life.
So crossover event. Yeah.
So thank you to everyone who checked in.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for sharing that. That
Yeah.
was I know I was on the edge of my seat because we hadn't talked since you
I
guys got
know.
back, so I really wanted to hear about that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk more about
Oh,
it later.
yeah, for sure.
But for right now, our main event for this episode, let me explain how this is going to work because this is actually a new series we're starting on this podcast. It's called Late to the Party. And what it is Hannah and I have not experienced a lot of things in life. Or we're dummies and we don't know a lot of things. So this series that we're going to do probably every month or so is these topics or these events or just random things that we have not experienced ourselves in our lives. And we'll try to get an expert on the topic or on the subject to be a guest so that they can walk us through some of the stuff. And it's not like these are things that we not only haven't tried, but maybe are trying, right? So specifically for this episode, we're going to be talking about fantasy football.
Yeah, and it's... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I say it's so perfect that Lorenzo's here because we all kind of came up with this late to the party idea
Yes.
when we were roommates.
Yeah. Speaking of, should we bring up what we want to, our fans?
Oh my gosh! At the end.
Oh, at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So, fantasy football is the topic today, and we are late to this party, Hannah and I, because what's your history with fantasy football?
My history with it is being really annoyed at Lorenzo for playing it. So,
Accurate,
yeah,
accurate, yeah.
Well, you became a Chiefs fan because of fantasy football.
100%.
So since we
Oh,
were,
is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
since we were married, like, he was playing fantasy football, and I just remember like being annoyed that it took so much of his time because like setting up his
Hey, it's
teams.
a second job
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, you're
Okay.
managing a team.
Right. That's true.
General manager.
Yeah. So that's my only experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I've only experienced it with present company excluded, just kind of like douchey guys talking about it. You know, and I'm
Yes.
like, bro, we get it. Like you're on a team or whatever. You're the manager of his team, and you just always bring it up. And maybe it's because I'm ignorant and I don't, you know, I'm not putting myself in their position where this is something that they're excited about, passionate about. But now so we decided. Well, you're the commissioner, so tell us how this came about.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
actually,
and-
wait,
yeah.
sorry. Tell us your history with fantasy
With
football.
fantasy football, yeah. So I didn't grow up watching football, but I always it's always in the conversation. It's one of the most popular sports in North America, and you're always kind of feeling a little left out, right? So the first time somebody invited me to play fantasy football, I was like, yeah, let's give this a go. Let's learn a sport,
Yeah.
And that was, but we weren't married yet.
It was 2016.
Yeah.
Or 2015.
It might have been.
around
I
there.
think
Yeah.
we were still
That's when we
working at
met.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah. So yeah, I joined and I had no idea what I was doing, and I won that year. I won first place.
Wow.
And it was just the thrill of throwing money and gambling on these players.
So you won the jackpot for
I
that.
did. I won the jackpot. And then the next year I won second place. And so
Okay.
I was like, maybe I'm good at this. And it's always been my dream to, play that with my closest friends, because typically I'm in random leagues, or I only know
With
one or
randos
two
you don't
people.
know. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I've always thought it'd be much more fun. So this year I pitched that idea to you guys. I was like, hey guys, would you want to start a fantasy football league with me? And luckily, I had found 7 others. That's the minimum you need. We have the smallest league possible, 8, and
Okay.
And so here we are, a couple weeks into the season, and what are the standings?
Well, are you in first?
I'm in first.
Okay. So I think you're 4-1.
I'm 5-1.
5-1. What am I? 4. I'm 4
And
two.
2. And you're second.
I'm in second place.
Yeah.
And you are.
4th place. So, I,
So
the
let
expert,
let
so
the
to
record
speak.
show that Hannah and I have never played. Have never. And when you invited us, you were kind of hyping it up, and I was like, okay, it's only the buy-in was $10.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's only $10. I could win 30.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I think you're right. Something about that, maybe I was tired of not being on the outside. Not really though. It was fine. But I wanted to be in those conversations with those guys. And maybe that's why I was annoyed, is because I couldn't participate in that space with them. And so yeah, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And you said yes.
Yeah.
And we found our other friends were willing to do it. So so this is our first time in the league. You're in first place. I'm in second place, and you're the commissioner.
And I'm the commissioner, and trying to make sure that we're all in line, no
Yeah.
collusion here. But
Yeah.
I really want to hear about the process of choosing your players,
Oh.
because whatever worked for you, that's going to be my strategy.
Well.
next year. I'm gonna.
Hannah?
I'm so happy you asked. And honestly, this is a secret for anybody.
This is insider.
If you're
Yeah.
looking to play fantasy, I highly suggest that everybody adopts this method. And essentially, I went into it envisioning myself on my own season of The Bachelorette. And I'm casting my guys. So I'm like, what guys do I want fighting for my heart? And that's pretty much what I did. I was like, you're hot, I'll take you. You're hot, I'll take you. I mean, I had my go-tos. I mean,
Right.
I knew I needed Travis Kelce.
Of course.
I knew I was going to get Jalen Hurts. After that, it was kind of like shopping around, window shopping, if you will. And
Well, that's very kind of similar to my strategy. I chose the nicest looking guys. I thought to
Nicest
myself,
looking.
no, I'm sorry. I should clarify. Not hot. Just a guy who who looks like a nice dude.
A guy you could bring home to mom.
Just like someone I could maybe have over for dinner or like go get drinks with. Just like a solid, genuine person.
Somebody who's authentic, and
transparent, won't put me in a box. Okay. Just like a nice guy. and if I looked at the players' photos and I, based on their team photo, I made the judgment call.
I'm so pissed right now.
To see if they're nice guys. Hey, you're on my team because kindness wins.
Kindness kills,
That's an organic way to choose a football team. I appreciate.
What was your method?
Methods.
Like, tell us.
I researched the guys. I was like, who was good last year? Who's in a good situation? This year, I spent all off season. I kid you not. This is like one of my obsessions. And as soon as the season's over, I'm just like pining for the next season. It's just fun. It's so much fun for me. For me, it combines two of my favorite things, which is math and football. So we don't have to get into that.
We're going
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of math and football.
Yes.
I got an email this week.
You did? Was it the greatest email you've ever received?
TBH, the information on there, I haven't finished reading it, but the first 2 or 3 pages, I was like, oh, this is actually very helpful information.
Is it not? Yes.
So for the listeners at home, Lorenzo, the commissioner of our fantasy football league, emailed our league, each person in the league, and a newsletter. It's like 7 weeks into the
it
season.
Took me a while to build my data structures.
Yeah.
He would be up at at midnight, 1 a.m, just
how long did
away.
I work on this?
Since even right when the season started.
This is a passion project.
It's been running for weeks. And
Well, I mean, when I got it, I thought it was a joke at first, but then I started reading it. It's a news. You said it was a newsletter, right? A weekly newsletter, or is it going to be weekly?
It will be. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try to make it. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
And I thought it was like a bit. Like, oh, he's doing a bit.
We love when he does bits.
We do. So, but then I started reading it, and I was like, oh no, he's serious.
Yeah.
Like, this is real research, real data, and I was actually kind of impressed.
Yeah.
Because when you the first couple sections talks about EPA, and I was like, oh, that's what that stands for? Expected points added. See how I studied?
Yeah.
See how
So you read it?
I read it, and the fact that obviously the higher the EPA for the offense, good, but I didn't realize you could do negative EPA for the defense, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of mind-blowing information that I didn't know prior to this. But I'm sure anyone who watches football kind of knows already this, right? Knows all this information already. Oh no, is this truly?
It's like a nerdy stat for sure. And what's interesting is you can always tell a jock from a nerd because people who don't care about these conversations will be like, oh, analysts are ruining the sport. Now it's just going to be computers playing against computers or whatever. But I think it adds a lot of depth and beauty.
I think so too. Well, are you saying the casual football fan won't know what the stuff that you talk about in your newsletter?
I think that they're starting to mention it more and more on broadcasts, but you won't hear as much about EPA. You'll hear about yards after the catch. You'll hear, certain things that are a little more accessible. EPA is kind of like a mouthful, as you saw, right? Like something that needs a little bit more explaining. But once you get it, it's it makes sense. If I'm, at the 10-yard line on my side, gaining 10 yards isn't as valuable as if I'm at the goal line.
And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
So that's the way that you can measure how helpful a play was, is taking the position of the ball at the time into account. And so, but again, that's, they are trying to keep the, people from muting the broadcast. So I'm sure that's not their focus.
Well, I haven't finished the newsletter, but I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I will share the wisdom that I've gleaned from the.
You haven't gotten to the good stuff yet.
Oh, do you already know the whole thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been seeing it as he's been working on it.
Yeah, you saw it in real time.
But I really liked. I mean, I loved the graphs with the logos. And like reading it written out, but then being able to see it.
Yes, I like that too. That must have taken a long time.
Yeah,
because you had to you had to pull all the logos and then place them.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, lucky for me, the package that I was using, so where I sourced all the information from, they already had the logos embedded.
Oh, okay.
So that was less work. What was more work was just literally figuring out how to pull the data, organize it, and then turn it into a graph.
Wait,
that's,
so this is
readable.
actual research that you conducted?
This is this was a
Because as I was reading it, I was like, oh, is he writing a thesis for something? I
No,
thought it was like a grad school something that you were doing, and I was like, oh, this is cool that he's combining like his academics with his fashion, but no, it's not that.
I mean, to be honest, like I think in my position as a math teacher, like kids are always asking me like, when am I going to use this in real life, you know? And I try to approach teaching as like showing kids that math is power, like it's a set of tools that can be used and not just a bunch of rules you have to like memorize. And but also, like, I'm not an industry person. I've never been in a setting where I have used math for a purpose. I'm just, like, learning it to teach it. And so I think this is, like, it comes from that I want to be able to, like, make it worth something and, you know, be able to talk about how I used stats to, you know, win money in my fantasy football league, right? So
and it was the data there was impressive to me, and I'm no math guy or no football guy, but reading through it helped me realize, oh, he's onto something here. This is not a bit. This is a real thing.
It's almost something that I feel like you could sell.
Yeah.
Like to all fantasy, anybody playing fantasy, you know, like, because that information is helpful for anybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't specific to our league
no.
or anything like that. It was like general knowledge.
Right.
I appreciate that. That's, you know, it's obviously in a very early stage, but that's kind of my little dream. I'm going to play with this and see if it becomes something else. Truthfully, that's information, the stuff that I've played with so far is not hard to find on your own. It just, I wanted to reproduce it and know that I can organize it and I could publish it myself. And so that's what I'm practicing.
Well, it looked
with
very professional and well executed.
Yeah. And if any of our listeners out there are playing fantasy football and want to subscribe to the
interested,
newsletter,
please email us.
Yeah. Shoot us a DM.
Oh, yeah. We used to live together at gmail.com.
And
or
you'll
on
get added to the list.
Yeah, Instagram. Oh, will you really?
Yeah, I'll send it. Yeah.
Wow.
Right
okay.
now,
This is an exclusive
I'm just happy
offer.
to have anybody open the email and like look at it. One of our friends, it seems to me like she skipped to the end.
Don't call her out.
Don't say her name.
No, I will not. But she texted me the morning after and she like, you know, made it seem like she had read at least the last part. So I'm really curious, like who's actually gone through and like found it useful.
It will show in the score. It will reflect in the scores.
Speaking of, okay, so the matchups this week. This is a unique week.
This is a special week. It's
Because
roomies versus roomies.
Roomies versus roomies. So Hannah and I are against each other, and you and Danny are against each other.
Yeah.
So,
which, if you guys forgot, we all used to live together.
That's true.
Did we?
Yes. So we'll keep track of that. Maybe we'll post something about who won or
that's
that
fun.
would be fun.
But how are you feeling going into this week? You got your lineup set. The game's about to start.
Yeah, the game.
Are we all set up?
Oh, I was like, what day is it? So as of this recording, it's Thursday.
Phone right now.
Oh, no.
And I picked my nicest guys. they're on.
Wait, who's playing? I think I'm fine. Okay. Anyways,
okay.
we're fine.
Well, we'll
see what happens.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on that. Any final observations from you guys?
Well, before we close out, did we want to talk about the name of our fan base since Lorenzo is there?
Right. So we actually, all three of us, I think, had the same idea, but none of us said anything until one day we were all hanging out. And then Lorenzo was like, hey, you know, you should call your fans. And we all said at the same
time.
It was the same thing.
That's what we're going to do right now.
Yeah. One, two, three.
Roomies!
That's right. So if you are listening to this podcast, you are now a roomie.
A roomie.
And that's what we will be calling our fandom. So don't be surprised if we say, hey, roomies.
Hey, roomies. It's cute.
It is. That's
like what we used to call each other.
Yeah.
There's a family feel to
yes.
it. Like it,
It's
I think
warm.
It's perfect.
It's
warm.
safe.
It's
and
kind.
that's how we want you to feel here. We want you to feel warm and safe.
Absolutely.
Any other thoughts on football?
Football, fantasy football.
No, I mean
Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift.
I know you didn't. Yeah.
You didn't weigh in on that.
Share
pairing.
whatever.
I just hope that if they were not saying they will, but if they were ever to part ways, that they can continue that to, I don't know what I'm saying. I just hope it's not like a distraction. You know what I mean?
To Taylor,
there's
her career's on the line.
I don't know,
Yeah.
for anybody who doesn't know, Taylor Swift grew up in Pennsylvania, and so she was actually supposedly a huge Eagles fan. And if you don't watch, football, the Eagles lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. So there's a theory that she's only dating Travis Kelce.
To what?
The second best player on our team.
To what?
To break his heart when the moment calls.
It's an inside job?
Right? So
No.
it's like
They sent in their swiftest
combustion.
agent.
Wait, that's diabolical.
Can you
is that a
imagine?
true theory?
That's
is.
a
We'll
real
send you the
theory.
TikTok.
That's like
Oh my god.
it's, and I can only hope for the best
Yeah.
for the two of them.
Yeah.
Come what may.
Wow. That's the bell. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sticking it out for these 5 episodes. If you've made it this far, truly, genuinely, thank you.
Thank you.
We really
Thank you so much.
Everyone who's been so supportive of this podcast and encouraging, we thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been a real blast doing this, and now we get to bring in our friends. They get to be a part of it. And if you want to be part of this community, all you have to do, shoot us a little DM. We used to live together on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Please send us emails, because our hope one day is to do a mailbag episode where we answer any questions or address any comments that you guys might have. So please send us an email.
Or fun roomie stories.
Yeah, and send us your roommate stories,
Yeah.
good and bad.
Good and bad.
Because we will read them.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
We used to live together at gmail.com. I think that is it for episode 5.
Yeah.
So until next time, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Bye.